do a physical one next year.
Yep, not hopefully, definitely.
Okay, so let me start putting the slides as usual. Let me share the screen. Here they are. So basically, it was a bit of a session where we wanted to wrap up a bit on this year and give you an update on the latest developments. There's a lot of things going on that Robin and myself are working for the Institute to move on. The second discussion, so a bit of breakout rooms. I think your feedback has been always very much appreciated and very insightful. So the discussions are good, but let me start with the latest developments. And now that Robin is there, so he can also comment. He's been heavily involved on that part. So just an update, we keep growing. 272 members, 76 shipped, which is quite good. The failure rate increases a little bit lately. Don't know why, but there were a couple of more failures in the exam, but it's still reasonable compared to other certifications. And Chris, Mohammed, David, Stephen, congratulations for having passed the exam. Let me go to the next point. This one, you have received an email with the instructions. So we've created this new section. I think Robin already talked about this last time, but here you'll find all the updates that we do to the course. Robin, I don't know if there's anything you want to add on this point.
Sure, with pleasure, Antonio. So the way we set it up is this is updates when we update the actual strategy implementation professionals course. We appreciate that you no longer have access to the platform. So as a member or participating in the course, you'll automatically be able to see new articles and new references. And we've used the roadmap, the SIR, Strategy Implementation Roadmap, so it's easy to understand where the new material is. And it will give you the reference and the link. And if it's material from Antonio or I, where we own the IP, you'll be able to download it. And then also, we're planning to build on it so that you'll also see the white paper that we published this year after the conference on the future of strategy implementation. And as Antonio is going to share some of the other insights that are coming in the near future, with this page will start to grow with more and more value. So please visit, give us your feedback. And if you have any suggestions about what you'd like to see on it, please don't hesitate to let us know.
Thank you, Robin. Another development is the fellowship program, which was something we had discussed for at the beginning, even when we created the institute, but we put that on hold and it has been recently launched. We have one first student from Singapore, Casey, who's been very involved in the world of project management and also in strategy. And now he wanted to get this certification. So there is going to be, I don't know if we have shared this already, but
we haven't. This is a first.
Is the first for you to share with you. We have been we're piloting it basically with Casey and working with him on a project to assess some criteria to kind of confirm or award this fellowship certification. So it's the higher level of the institute to demonstrate that we have those high elite people as well going through this process. Again, Robin, anything you want to add? You will be able to read all this. So
yeah, so no, I'm using my mobile, so I certainly cannot read it. So first of all, don't worry, we will be sending out the details in the new year. But if I just add on to the explanation Antonio gave, is if the implementation course focuses on your skills and then tests them through the exam with our partner APMG. The fellowship focuses on the practical. So we're looking in the fellowship that you don't just have the knowledge, but you apply the knowledge. And we do that through a 90-day project that's has to be linked to your strategy. And we, as Antonio just shared, KC is our pilot, which will be until the end of February. So we're using that, and then we'll be developing it early next year and giving you more details then.
Yeah, and we'll get Casey to come. I wanted to invite him. Well, he's a member. He's just quite busy, but I wanted to come and speak to you in one of these monthly meetings to tell you. So, but we just got started. I have a second call with him next week. So we'll give you updates on that. Third topic is the conference. It's 1st and 2nd of March. This is the high-level outline. I think Robin in the last call asked for your feedback, which was extremely valuable, and the focus on interactivity. Just not to make another webinar for everybody just to listen, but much more participation. So this is just a high-level outline. We were talking about 2 hours on the first day, 2 hours on the second, so also keep it to the point. Anything to add here, Robin?
Yeah, no, I just would echo what you said, Antonio. It's going to be very much interactive, participative. It's the value is going to be for those who attend, not for watching it afterwards. So, for example, we may have a speaker who will only speak for like 5 or 7 minutes, and then we'll have 30 minutes of group discussion, Q&A. I don't know if you want to share about the discussion on the debate that we're going to ask some people to prepare. Do you want to mention that one?
Yeah, well, debate, I think you practiced that with the group in the past. So basically,
yeah, it went very well.
And it went very well. So it's just trying new things. And one of the ideas we had, I think you already shared, also we're giving some awards. So this is something that is in the planning, and see how we can bring that to reality by March. I'm, of course, we are following awards, and again, I think congratulations to Robin for the Thinkers 50 recognition. But there you can see more and more awards and recognitions, and we, Robin and I, have been following strategy implementation for so many years, and beyond the balance scorecard, which is more for, I guess, I think for corporates, there's nothing for implementation specialists or implementation projects, or so we were thinking that this could be something that we do under the institute and with you, our members and volunteers.
Antonio, just while you're chatting, Gerald's asking what time the conference will be. So 7 p.m. Singapore time is what time for Central European?
Hey, Gerald. Yeah, sorry, I didn't good to catch that, Robin. So it will be, yeah, we were thinking around this time. It's not final, but around this time.
Or a couple hours earlier, I think.
Or a couple of hours areas, yeah.
So we'll send out the details in January, so you can lock it in at plenty of time in advance.
Yeah. Okay, so what else did I have on? Yeah, so that was, I don't know if there's anything else to update, Robin, from your side that I didn't show here.
The body of knowledge is the other update that we're updating it with the changes we've made to the course, and those have all been done. And right now it's at the design stage. So those who, after the design stage, it then gets a final proofread, and then we go to uploading it. So we're the first quarter of next year. We're very much looking forward. It will be the first book Antonio and I have published. It will be Antonio's first follow-up to sorry, can't quite see the screen, Antonio. Harvard Business Review Project Management Handbook. That's it. So, congratulations, Antonio. Congratulations also on having the cover article on Harvard, which is a wonderful achievement for you. And Antonio and I are looking forward to co-authoring that as our first book for next year.
Yeah.
And just one other, we both contributed to the Brightline Perpetual Transformation that came out this week as well. And we both contributed to that, which we've put on the LinkedIn. You can find it there.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin. So that was a lot, like you can see, we're trying to find ways to bring more value to you and open always for more suggestions. And we do put you as a high priority in our time for bringing value to you as first group of strategy implementations professionals. So anything you think that could be interesting. I wanted to discuss also some volunteering ideas, but again, feel free to reach out to Robin, to myself, or through the Institute website. We're happy to do this together. So as every call, we had this a survey or a poll in LinkedIn, and this is the one I just captured yesterday. The question was, which is honestly perceived as more important in your organization? Crafting, implementing strategy, or equal? And this is the results so far. I think, Robin, on your side, you get similar scores.
It was, yes.
Similar split. So I just thought, is this right? Is this the right mix? Is it, should implementations be on the front? Should be crafting strategy? Should be equal? I thought it could be a good conversation around that. Of course, we tend to be a bit biased, saying implementation probably is more important, but I just wanted to have a thought and discussion. What do you think? What do you see around you? Is this going to accelerate? And spent a bit of time discussing this piece of research. Okay, so my proposal is, again, going in breakout rooms and discussing, do you see this trend accelerating, increasing, should be more balanced? I just, I have my own views, but I thought it would be interesting to share and a bit of brainstorm about your experience. Okay, so I'll put you in breakout rooms. I'll join. Robin, do you want to join one of the breakout rooms?
No, thank you, Antonio. I'm going to say good evening from Singapore to everyone. I'm going to have to go back into the dinner. I just wanted to wish everyone a wonderful end of year. Celebrate, those who celebrate, have a wonderful Christmas. And thank you to everyone for their support, participation, involvement through the year. And I look forward. And maybe we'll do the second week of January, Antonio, for the monthly meeting.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to
the first week. Yeah.
Yeah, first week is not going to be possible. Yeah.
So have a wonderful end of year, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for joining, Robin.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, let me put you to breakout. So I'll give you a little time to introduce yourself. Maybe I think we have a lot of people that we know each other, but there's a new people all the time, as you can see from a bit all over the place. So we'll put the breakout rooms for 15 minutes. And that's, I put 15 breakouts. 5. And just have a good chat. And if you want to go beyond the topic of strategy and introduce yourself and discuss about what you do, and if you need any help, of course, everything is possible. So 4 breakout rooms, and I open them up and I'll join you to check how things are going. See you in about 15, 20 minutes. Let's say 20. Continue with the recording. So welcome back, and I'm curious to hear your thinking. By the way, I put in the chat, maybe you didn't see it. if you have any idea of a potential question for the poll, which is for this one that we launch every month, just put it in the chat, and I'm happy to post it later on. You see, they're quite simple. It's ABC, the limited, but they get quite some amount of views, 15, 20, 40,000. So if you have any, and then I'll put your name as well. So let's start with group number 4, the last one. Let's start with the last one. Who was there? Chris, Gudrun, Kuto, Larry. Who wants to share what you were discussing about this big theme?
Chris?
Chris?
Sorry, unmute myself. Okay, I think our consensus is really around that we think it's a false question these days to ask whether you do strategy formulation and implementation as 2 separate things. With the pace of change and the need to communicate across and down through units and to get people on board with continuous strategy execution these days, we think these are part and parcel of the same thing. So you're talking about discovery-driven strategies, Rita McGrath type stuff, then really you are formulating and executing as you go. And I think the idea to try and separate these things is probably not that useful anymore.
So you're saying that the thinking part, the analysis, the planning is integral with the implementation.
Yes. So if we're going to take this approach that we're going to test things, right? So we've got some analysis that says this would be a good market for us to look at, right? So then we want to do a test. Now, one could call that test formulation, I guess, but actually you have to execute something to do that, right? You've got a small project, which is part really of strategy execution now, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to get some people involved. We're going to try it out. We're going to see, do people get enthusiastic? Do they come up with a project purpose, a la the project canvas?
Yeah.
Can we come out of that with it? Can we get people enthusiastic? That is part of really strategy implementation. So I think we're seeing that these are being blended. And I think that's right, because we're then not having some group doing strategy formulation off in a little room somewhere, and then saying to all the rest, hey guys, we've got a great idea, you go ahead and do this. Right? And that's a problem that we've seen, I've certainly seen through 20 years of strategy implementation.
Yeah. No, I think we have one of a super experienced group here on this field, which is great to hear. So thank you, Chris. Let's see if the other groups have something different, and then we can build on what you're saying. So in group 3, we had Michele, Nigel, Randall, Sylvia, or Bernard. Who wants to talk? We had good discussion too.
Yeah, we had a very good discussion, and it was clear that strategy implementation is a problem, and we need to spend more time on the implementation as opposed to the thinking. But I think we agreed that both were important, and the problem really that we are facing is that the link is not clear, and the same way Chris indicated that, you know, you have a strategic theme that goes off to the mountaintop and comes back with the holy grail that now everybody has to implement. That won't work. Sylvia made it clear that we need early engagement, and we need to be transparent and involve the team in what we are trying to accomplish. so that it's not Urbana used the word, a phrase I've never heard before, down talk. So it's not people coming and talking down to you. So it's not down talk, but that engagement is so important. Gerald or Sylvia, feel free to jump. Randall or Sylvia or Urbana, feel free to jump in.
If not, we move to the next group. I'm going to focus on this discussion. I thought another theme, but one of the feedback was, why don't we stay a bit longer in the topics and try to dig deeper? So, and I think this one is super interesting. I was thinking that many of the consulting firms in the past, they were the strategy ones, the BCGs, McKinsey's, they were very much focus on planning, right, on that piece, but you see them now moving along and delivering a lot of implementation. So they do both, like you were saying, both of you, is now we do the planning for you, but we implement it too. So that for me has kind of clearly shows a bit of the points raised so far. Michele, I see your hand raised, and you were
just a very quick addition on the discussion. We also at the end, maybe that might be the topic for another session. We also discussed how to which strategies and tools we can use to increase the engagement. Basically, we saw that one of the big problem is the engagement, how to engage the different levels. Senior leadership needs to be engaged differently than the front line, but we want to engage everybody. And we just brainstorm about points, and that might be a great discussion. We talk about transparency, we talk about early engagement, we talk about identification of internal and external stakeholders, constant engagement, approach, even evaluation. So that might be also another interesting thing to continue to discuss.
Engagement, I love that. Yeah. I like that. Thank you, Michele. Let me just go through all the other groups and we can keep talking about this topic in the end. Group 2, we had Anibal, Abdullah, Gary, Gerald, and Joe. Wow, Willem, what another amazing team.
Hey, Joe, do you want to do a quick update? I'll chime in.
It's Joe. He's
on mute.
Oh, he's on mute.
Gerald, why don't you jump in? You got the helm pretty good on this going forward.
All right, man. No, it was a really good conversation. I think we were, I can't say we were split. I think we were all kind of going down in the same direction and agreeing with the other groups that strategy creation and implementation are both very, very important. However, I brought up an idea of something around dynamic steering, that once you have an intent or strategy that you're basically dynamically steering through strategy implementation. In other words, you're flexible and you're adjusting, because once the strategy hits the road, right, and meets reality, there will be changes. Not every strategy that you plan out. It's kind of like what Mike Tyson says, everyone's getting into the fight and doing well until they get punched. And then it's like, okay, that there's whatever that strategy was that you had, that you planned for, it's out the window, and now you're fighting for your life. And so the strategy implementation is dynamic, and to me it's a little bit based on the Pareto principle that 20% of our time should be strategy creation, where the 80% of our time should be strategy implementation. But it's a circular concept. It's more circular than just a straight silo line. Well, I don't know if Joe or anyone, Gary, one of the other guys want to jump in.
Yeah, I know. I was telling the group I'm starting a project in January, and it's a faith-based organization. But one of the things I discovered in doing a retuning of their strategy, and they, without saying it, they hinted they've had problems on implementation, and checking the backgrounds of the executive sponsor and the SMO person. They know what strategy implementation is and what execution is. And so I turned around and I said, I'm going to send you the end package of implementation that we recommend, so you can start to see what the heavy lifting is here now. I said, because you know, from the work plan, we're gonna retune that strategy pretty quickly. And and the heads were nodding. So they know that the wall's coming. And I also started using this as an analogy, and you guys that have kids all know this. With a lot of clients, I said, when you get done building strategy, that was the baby creation. Now we got to crawl, walk, and run to get to the end of the line here. And there's no way to sidetrack that. And so it seems to be working, but every organization is different, as all of us know that are consultants on this meeting.
Yeah, and I like the analogy about the learning to walk, because as management, I think you also support the kid that is trying to walk. And if he stands up and he walks for 2 steps, no parent will say, "What the fuck are you doing? Falling down." Parents will be enthusiastic and say, "Oh, he did 2 steps," and try to get enthusiasm back into the implementation, and take the next 2 steps and the next 2 steps, and then in the end he will start walking and running. And we also discussed it's kind of the crafting and the implementation of the strategy are the 2 sides of a coin, and it needs to be flipped regularly and visited. And what I think it was Chris said, you need to feed back the data back into your strategy to see if it is really working, if it is delivering what you really intended it to do. And that's why you need to go top down, but also bottom up in a certain point. That's about what I wanted to add.
Nice. I think we're all learning a bit from each other. I recently came across a McKinsey article around advanced analytics for strategic planning. And so I'm putting that in the chat. It's a bit related, but how artificial intelligence and machine learning, it's evolving also in this space for the decision-making space. I'm working on a small startup to create a tool for portfolio management with artificial machine learning using the project Canvas. So as soon as that is ready, I want to share that with you, and maybe we see some ideas to collaborate on that. But there's the technology, I think it's going to be a big player in this space. Don't know if it's going to be more on the planning than in the implementation, probably yes, but interesting evolutions. I put that there in the chat. Let me go to the last group. We had Alan, Chris, Daniel, Philip, Gadir. Who wants to comment? Put in here. Anybody wants to comment from that group, Alan, or?
Shall I jump in?
Yeah, please, Chris.
Sorry, I didn't take any notes, so it's completely off the top of my head. So we had I suppose a view that certainly out of the 3, clearly implementation is, the most important. It's the classic, observation that you can have a bad strategy implemented well is far better than nothing being implemented. At least you're learning as you're going forward, and you can always amend the strategy. I think there was a view that if you are doing strategy, it needs to be, coming back to that 2080 ruling, it needs to be light touch. It needs to essentially establish the North Star that an organization is moving towards, but not get into the detail. And I think, and this could be a public sector thing within the UK, but Shona and myself, because I work in a housing association, we possibly do struggle from the constant strategy overload, constantly reviewing the strategy, rewriting it, and not doing much on the implementation side. So how do you break that cycle? And then there was a useful discussion about, I suppose, the hybrid delivery mechanism, and actually Agile is very good at doing the delivery and releasing benefits that people can see quickly. And there's a good discussion also about how you measure that benefit realization as you go through the project, and the importance of linking that, I suppose, to well, so this is a spin-off of my thought, but I think that's so important to keep the engagement of an organization on the journey that you're following as well. So a few things there. Team, anything else you want to jump in on?
Great.
All quiet.
No, I think that there's consensus, which is good. I think we're very much aligned. What I was thinking when you were talking, and it goes back to the hybrid model. We maybe are looking at this from a black and white approach, and maybe some of the strategies need to be really thought, and you need more strategic thinking. Maybe these are the big choices, really. That you need to, and then others is more the opposite, is more let's try and see, no? So maybe I've come to realize in many of these fields that we wanted to have one formula for everything, starting with the agile versus traditional and strategy planning versus implementation, but maybe it's a mix. There's a hybrid, and for your mission or your bigger picture, it's more think it well. You have one shot, right? You cannot screw that one up. And the other ones are exploration. So I read the other day, Bezos from Amazon was saying you need up to 70% of information to make a good decision. If you have 90%, then everybody has the information. So you will not make a big impact. So there's a lot of elements that are kind of turning in my head to try to find a place to land, but maybe we need to move this forward into a more hybrid strategy, planning, implementation, hybrid kind of thing. Any thoughts? Have you seen something around that?
Well, we are actually doing that because we are thinking in terms of a waterfall delivery, but we have agile underneath the surface of actually, and it's that balance of taking, okay, well, this is all the stuff we're shooting at, but this is how we actually, set up, and this is the cadence of how we actually deliver things on the ground. And I think I just said, but I keep on coming back to the realization that you need to call out the benefit, you need to call out the value that's being released as you go through a program, because and I think, and Tony, you chipped in as one of the course elements that we're very good psychologically at beating ourselves, in terms of all the stuff we're not achieving in life and not moving forward, and it's important to reflect, and the good time now to reflect on what's happened over the last year. And how much you have moved forward, because otherwise you do get a bit self-inflated, think, oh, just in the cycle of the same stuff again. We're in Groundhog Day.
Exactly.
Actually, no, you are moving. You're moving forward. You're releasing stuff. You're improving stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to leave it here. It's been great to be together this year, and I do hope that next year we become stronger, bigger. We don't want to explode this community. We do want to grow it, but I think the quality of the people, as you can see in the calls, is amazing. So I encourage you also to connect and explore our collaboration opportunities. This is a platform, not just to learn, but who knows, to do better things and projects and business together, so that you can also benefit from that. But I do want to thank you on my behalf, Robin, for being there, for joining every month, and any ideas. We look at next year as a big one. So, and we count on you to be there. We're thinking about some type of volunteering activities that you can spend a bit more time and help with the Institute in a way or another. But this will come next year. Now I think we all deserve a good break. It's been intense. So thank you. Take care. I will keep in touch. I was just chatting with Chris on LinkedIn. So this is continuous. We're not done here, but enjoy the holidays and all the best for next year. We look forward to see you next year.
Yeah, good. Take good care.
Happy Christmas.
Take care.
Everybody.
Ciao. Ciao.
Right.
Ciao.
Right.
Happy holidays. Have a good one,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Take care.
Take care.
Yep, Alan, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.